Can we come back to masculinity?
Yeah, please.
Because I think this is very interesting. I was once at a dinner, a small dinner, it was about 12 of us maybe, with Jordan Peterson. And I asked him what Western civilization is. And Jordan, as is his style, went off on a 20-minute thing. And I was like, I have no fucking idea where you're going, Jordan. Right? But what he said was very interesting. He said that he talked about how in chimp groups, the alpha male is quite often one of the smallest males. In other words, it's not a Jocko Willink. It's me, or, I mean, you're bigger than me, but, you know, it's one of us. And the reason for that is that the alpha male strategy, the pub brawler strategy in groups, does not work very well for very long. You are only on top as long as you are physically the strongest male in that group. And when two or more smaller chimps can get together and kill you, they will. The difference with chimp groups is that the reason the smaller males are often the alpha male is that they're very good at building coalitions. And so to me, masculinity isn't about having big muscles or having a big head or wide fists or whatever. If we think about our conversation earlier about power, like I remember talking to Ben Shapiro about this, and he was like, yeah, there's this guy on the internet who's like, yeah, I could take, I've got big muscle. And she was like, yeah, I could pay people to shoot you. That's the coalition thing, right? Power isn't projected through your fist in the modern world. It's projected through the power that you have over other people as a leader. So to me, being hyper-masculine is not about having big muscles or having a big head. It's about your ability to project power and authority. What kind of leader are you? And, you know, you mentioned other stuff like your level of aggression and all these other things. So I think defining masculinity as simply a physical thing is very narrow.
If you had to put people on a spectrum of masculine, who pegs out the meter? Is it Jocko Willink or is it Ben Shapiro? That's probably terrible because Jocko can build coalitions. Is it, what's his name? The fighter, the boxer. He has a show called The Gypsy King. Otherwise I would not.
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury or Ben Shapiro. Who maxes out the masculinity meter?
That's interesting. I suspect on that level of analysis, everybody would say Tyson Fury.
Yes, I would.
You would. However, the question for me is, the definition is what predetermines the outcome, right?
That's so important.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I hope people pull that out.
Yeah. Well, how you define
so
masculinity automatically defines who you think is masculine.
Yeah, how
right?
you define anything.
And the question for me is, which of those options would I like to be? I could go to the gym and become really big and strong. I could do, and I did it for a while. Wasn't particularly my thing. I didn't enjoy it. I like being in shape. I don't like having, going to the gym and lifting lots of weights.
Oh, I get it.
Didn't work for me. And the level of power that gives you, over the power in a healthy sense, influence over the world, being able to manifest the things that you want, etc., is minuscule compared to the power that you have by building groups of people who follow you into whatever battle or project or whatever it is you want to do. And then there's the family aspect. How do you treat the women and children in your life? To me, healthy masculinity is a lot about that, actually. So when I see some guy with his shirt off, big muscles, talking about how he's got 10 hoes or whatever, I don't really see that as healthy masculinity.
Agreed.
Some people might do. And I'm sure the Genghis Khan model, which is basically that, some people would say, well, that's, biologically, that is hypermasculinity because like half the world or whatever is descended from him.
That would have been a great example. Genghis Khan,
Yeah.
not gigantic.
No.
But is he hypermasculine?
Yeah, I would say so.
To me, in fact, he pegs the fucking meter.
Right.
Kill them all. No problem. Just, we're taking over. We run this bitch now.
Yeah. And actually, if you look historically, a lot of the leaders who really made a huge impact on human society, they've all been very small. Napoleon, Hitler, Stalin wasn't a big guy, Putin.
Do you think that plays into it?
Of
Because
course.
I could see very easily how...
Of course it does.
It's like, oh, you think I'm not powerful because I'm smaller than you? I will show you. I want to go back, speaking of that,
Yes.
to alpha versus beta. So I think we have a delusional sense of what an alpha male is. I saw a documentary. I used to think an alpha male would be Tyson Fury. I don't know him. He could be the smartest guy on planet Earth. But the sort of once removed thought of him as a fighter, a big, physically intimidating fighter. I saw a documentary about wolves, and I was shocked, I say, when I saw that the alpha male was small. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And what I realized in that moment was the alpha is the decision maker. The alpha is the coalition builder. The alpha is the one that can think. Because again, in the marketplace of we are wolves, and if we don't take down that caribou, we fucking die. All of a sudden you go, yeah, bro, that guy, I don't know how, but he knows where to go and he knows where to be and he gives me the look at just the right moment. And when I follow him, I eat. And when I don't, I don't. And so what ends up happening oftentimes is the alpha male is small but fucking sharp. And the beta male, which in our society has gotten a terrible fucking rap, is the enforcer. And it was, watching that documentary was so unreal. So you've got a pack of whatever, 6 wolves, alpha kind of small, beta the biggest. And when they all went for the kill, the beta male came and told everyone to fuck off, growled, backed everybody down so the alpha could eat the liver. And I was like, holy shit, he's not even doing it for himself. He is. He's protecting the alpha to make sure that the right person to make the decisions and all of that can keep the group together, whatever, is well taken care of, well fed, and has what he needs. So that really got me thinking. So yes, while I agree with you that the person who's going to have the outsized impact isn't necessarily going to be what I will call, quote unquote, the most masculine, because again, all of us are 120-sided dice rolled. And so like, hey, maybe I'm as smart as Genghis Khan was, but I'm not vicious like that. Like dude, like when I think about people getting stabbed, or I'm just like, oh God, like clearly I'm not going to be the guy that goes and takes over the planet. That shit just, I'm way too squeamish for that. So when I think about thinking of something on a simplistic scale is probably the flaw in my thinking, and that it's really a far more dimensional, 3 dimensions, if we want to go all the way to 4. It's like you've got a tesseract of traits that makes for masculine, feminine, whatever, which I think leads to also some of the debate, because it really is such a complex topic. If somebody can give you a hyper simplified version, I say I'm Stacy, therefore I'm Stacy, it has a lot of gravitational pull because it simplifies a very complicated idea.
And sticking with the alpha conversation, who was the alpha? Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen? Scottie Pippen's a lot taller, a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Who was alpha,
obviously.
Kobe or Shaq?
That's a good one.
Right.
What's really interesting in that one is they were both alpha, and that was the problem. That's why they collided. Neither could defer to the other.
Yes.
If Shaq had been the enforcer, they probably would have won 20 championships.
Right. Exactly. But I think ultimately Kobe was the alpha in that situation, and Shaq eventually, same with the lots of situations like that. Look, at that level, they're all alphas, but someone's got to be the alpha in that particular group.
Yeah, that's interesting. And how fast that happens. When you've been the best ball player in your every team, your middle school team, your high school team, your college team, and then you get to the NBA and you're like, oh shit, I'm like 7th or 8th in the pecking order.
Yeah.
It becomes a real question about, can you become
A role player.
A role player. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I forget who it was in, I think it was 11 Rings by Phil Jackson. And Phil, I know you listen to this show. God, I wish. I doubt it very much. I so want to get him on.